What can I do about these potatoes that just did not grow? My cats need vaccine. Look, do I have to take them to the vet? Hey, can I grow garlic in pots on the deck? And what's so great about my Nettle tea? Today, that's right, on What the Homestead? All right, here's the deal. I've grown a lot of flowers on my deck before, and then I was like, I sure would like to have some more place to grow vegetables. And I'm like, why am I growing just flowers? Which I will keep growing flowers on my deck, but why am I growing just flowers when I could have a whole garden growing up on my deck? And if you don't have a big yard, you could do this too. So I decided I wanted to start some plants in the garden on the deck. But you know what? It's like December. So what can I plant out there in December? Garlic, my friends. I took these cloves basically from organic garlic cloves from the grocery store, and I put them in a little water, and they started to root. And I'm just like, I'm going to put these bad boys out here on my deck. So I put down my finger there, put about 3 or 4 inches down, and I stuck each one of the cloves in there, and I'm just going to leave them up here on the deck all winter, basically because they need the cold from the winter to make them grow into big bulbs. So I will now have them growing out here. Unfortunately, my potatoes, which I did in boxes out in the backyard, I planted them late. I wanted to have a second harvest. I had a spring harvest of potatoes, but I want to have a fall harvest. Unfortunately, I must have got them in late, and they came up like tiny little little potatoes. So I guess they're maybe little fingerling potatoes. I could have eaten them, but I'm like, I have all these organic little potato seeds, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep these. I'm going to dig them all up. I'm going to find as many as I possibly can, and I'm going to put them into the refrigerator because these I'm going to save for the spring. When I want to just plant potatoes, I think I can just put these back. I probably could have just left them in the ground for that matter. But I think I'm going to put them in a different spot. So I've got these bags in this downstairs fridge, which is really for bait and beer and potatoes. Okay. Oh, and I have the sweet potatoes. I started them late as well. I just wanted to see if it would work from clippings, if you saw in a previous video. And I did get a couple of little tubers, these tiny little tubers. So I decided, you know what, I'll just leave those in the pots and we'll just see what happens. I'm not even going to do anything about that. We'll just see what comes back in the spring. We went over to the Tractor Supply place because I got a new kitten, and the kitten needed vaccines. Now, if you go to the vet charges you an arm and then a leg and a cattail for the stuff you need there. But you can just go here and you can get, now you got to kind of know what to do. But my wife used to work for a vet. She was a vet tech for a little while, so she knows what to get and how much to give them. So we go over there, they sell you the vaccine. Now they're locked up, but they sell you the vaccines, and you just, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let her do it. She's a trained professional, right? Okay, so she's gonna fill up the syringe here thing with the vaccine, and instead of paying $100, $150, $200 to take the cat to the vet, a little kitten here, this little kitten, he's gonna get a shot right there in the back of his neck and insert the vaccine. And that's his second one. He got 2 now. That's his second round of vaccines. The only thing we don't do is the rabies shots. We'll take him to the vet for that, and then we're going to take him there. Actually, I'm taking him this afternoon. He doesn't know it. Don't tell him to snip, because we don't want little kittens. We have a little kitten. We don't want another little kitten. So, but he's adorable, right? Look, little kittens are adorable. So there you go. Vaccinated and ready to go. Next up, in the garden, I got some seeds. And I've never had, can you believe this? I've never had mustard greens. I've never eaten mustard greens. I've had collards. I love collards. Spinach, I guess I've had, what's another one? The greens. I've had a lot of greens, but I've never had mustard greens that I know of. So I got these seeds, and I just kind of put them in this little glass jar here with some water, and I threw some dirt in there. This was my idea of how would I spread out these tiny little seeds, because they're so small that I thought if I did this, it would kind of break them up and spread them out a little bit. So I just kind of did rows, and I put in my little dirt mixture in there, just kind of cutting it in there with a spoon, and just kind of blip, a couple little dots here, a couple of dots there, try to spread it out with the hope that it would grow up in this nice, rich soil. And you know what? This actually works. So I got them in there. What is this? Leftover flowers, and that's my mulch. There's some leftover flowers that was probably in some of the dirt. Anyway, getting my seeds in there, and I'm just going to pop them up in rows. Now they did grow a little. Water them down. They do grow a little close. I probably need to thin them out better, but as you can see, because of my method there, they're really growing up on top of each other. So I did try to spread them out a little bit, but I kind of just let them grow, and they got a little bit bigger, and they got a little bigger. And I took a bite of one when it was little, and I was like, oh my God, this tastes like I just put a spoonful of mustard. If you've never had mustard greens, it's incredible. Look how big this nice leaf is right here. But just take a bite of it raw like that, it tastes like you put a spoonful of mustard in your mouth. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's crazy how mustardy it tastes. And I was kind of afraid. I thought it might actually be really strong and Kim wouldn't like it. But she came up, found a recipe to cook them up. So I brought them upstairs. I cleaned them off. And I kind of just put her in charge, and she just went right to it. She cooked them up in the pot. There we put some bacon fat, some fat back, some onion, some chicken stock, and oh my God, they were so good. They were like collard greens. They weren't much different than that. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, I also went and bought some stinging nettle. Now, I had some nettle tea that I bought from a shop in Wilmington. She was just selling me the herb, basically. She was saying, like, you make tea out of this, and it's supposed to help with inflammation. Now, I have some stiff shoulders, so I thought, hey, what the heck? I'll make some nettle tea. And I liked it so much, I thought, you know what? I'll just grow nettle myself. That would be a lot easier. But again, being in the fall, I couldn't really put them outside, so I just wanted to get a couple seeds in there to see what would happen. So I got a pot, filled it up with a little bit of dirt. I actually started some of the seedlings in a tray, and now I'm just going to transfer them into the pot and then see what we're going to get out of it, and hopefully get big enough that maybe I can pluck some of the leaves off and make tea out of it. Now they do sting. They have little thorns on them when they get a little bit bigger, I've heard. So the leaves themselves are fine, but you got to be careful with the stems and not getting stung. But so I put them out in the sun, get some sunlight here, you can see they're starting to grow little seedlings here, and they kind of got pretty big, but not really big enough to make tea yet. But like I said, I've got them inside. Here they go. We've got some sun coming in the window, and I'd be curious to see how in 2 months maybe I'll be able to transport them, maybe in March, or maybe later than that, April or something. I'll be able to transfer them outside. But meanwhile, I wanted to make some nettle tea because it's supposed to be really good for inflammation. So I cut some ginger, and that's supposed to be good for inflammation. And I started with some of Kim's tea, which is made from the bark of a tree. What is it? Somebody's tree bark. It's in the other video. I forgot. But I just start with her tea, which is supposed to be good like for the liver or something. And then I've got my bag of nettle that I just purchased here. This is it. So I'm going to put some scoops of it. And you can see it's just like leaves. And they're going in the pot there. And it's boiling with my ginger. And I've got that in there, and I'm just going to stir that up, and I'm going to boil it for a little bit of while with the ginger. I'm going to take it when it's done, looking good. Let it steep for a little while, and I'll put that in a jar, and I add some turmeric to it. Not very much left in there. That's supposed to be good for inflammation. And add some ginger. No, not ginger. I'd have the ginger's already in there. Oh, cinnamon. Cinnamon, that's the other thing. So all that into this magic tea that I'm going to drink. So I'm going to get some right now. It's really good. That's what's going on this month on What the...